Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late February 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Scorpio collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you got for Scorpio gang? In late February, it's Pisces season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio gang in late February. What is the vibe? What is the energy swirling all around us? Please, let's get this card out nice and quick. There it is. Ask and you shall receive. Okay, so energetic attachments, energetic cords, pardon me, could be extremely important. I've been seeing this card speckled in for a few different signs over the past couple weeks. Now, normally this is a very rare card. We may have even gotten it in one of our readings in the recent weeks, but I feel like it's important. The imagery is beautiful. There are some beautiful aspects to this card, but it is really about what you're focusing your energy on or towards or who you're connected to. It could be super important. Now, before we get into all the specifics of that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about the card. So we see here, there's this dude, he's standing in a room, we have the mirror, and there's a lady coming through the mirror. Now, it's not like a horror movie, like someone crawling out of the mirror and being all weird. To me, this card does imply distance between two people, whether it's distance between you and someone you love, whether it's physical distance or emotional distance. For some Scorpios, that could be an archetype that you're working through right now, where there's like a degree of separation between you and someone. But if that's not the case, I always feel like these people, although they're a distance from each other, they're still connected, right? And it's my personal belief that when we form bonds with people, whether it's friends, family, lovers, you name it, there is some sort of energetic exchange. There's a cord. Now, sometimes we give a little too much energy in these connections. Sometimes we don't give enough. And that could be a big balancing act sometimes. So whenever this card shows up, if it's not just signifying an important person, it could just be spirit saying like, hey, Scorpio, just watch how much energy you're given to this. Is it equal? Is it balanced? Okay, so any energetic connection, I even believe it happens with important places too. So just keep that in mind, whatever you're feeding your energy to. We're going to leave them right there. They look like they're having a moment. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card over here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Scorpio gang. What's happening? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled Big Karmic Warning, and the reason it was titled that was because the reading was just filled from front to back with tons of karmic cards, tons of karmic archetypes. Now, in a Scorpio reading, that does take on a different complexion. A lot of our personal power cards are karmic cards. So if any sign can go with the flow of the universe and go through intense periods of change, it's Scorpio, right? It's kind of built into the astrological DNA, but it did represent a lot of change if we're just simplify it. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Scorpio gang to start us off. What do we have here? Late February. So just as I give that whole spiel about karmic cards, we get the strongest karmic card right here in position number 1. We have Lady Justice. Okay, she's always a welcome sight. Let's get her tucked in. Pardon me. So watch out for ailments of the throat, because I'm getting a bit of a frog in my throat now as well. That's weird. Let's get a couple more. Okay, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Very powerful divine feminine energy showing up here. Let's get one more out here for Scorpio gang, please. Thank you. And the 7 of Swords. Now, this is something we most definitely want to watch out for, my friends. The 7 of Swords is either unexpected at best, or it could just be someone or something we really, really want to keep a close eye on. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, there's a lot of interesting themes going on here. And I will say this, the spread this week is most definitely air heavy with the element. We have Lady Justice, which is Libra energy. We have the Seven of Swords. So when we get an abundance of air energy, that's the realm of the intellect, the mind, but also communication. Interesting how I had this little frog in my throat that just popped up out of nowhere when all these air energies start coming out. So watch out for ailments of the throat. There could be things around communication as well that we want to look at. We do have the earth energy in the center, which grounds it down. That is a complementary energy to Scorpio. But we definitely want to keep an eye on all this air and how it's progressing, how it's moving. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out. Let's get more detail. Position number 1, we have Lady Justice. So like I mentioned, it connects to Libra. That's our zodiacal neighbor. Maybe you have some placements in Libra if you look at your birth chart. And there's a lot of themes that connect to this card. It could represent decisions. It could represent choices, weighing options like, all right, is this right? Is this wrong? Remember I said in the very beginning, watching and weighing how much energy you put into things could be very important. So I like that Lady Justice is here with her scales because that reinforces that message. She could represent equality. She could represent fairness. Are there certain situations going on where you feel like it's unfair? Do you feel like things are balanced or unbalanced? I mean, those are questions you would need to ask yourself. She also shows up with legal things. So for a lot of Scorpios in this time, anything you're putting your signature on, any agreements, any legalities, be very, very cautious. Even with taxes and stuff like that, just be very, very cautious with legalities. But she is also the strongest karmic card in the whole entire deck. So we did have that warning last week. The energy's still here. So whether it's a karmic situation, karma getting served up, we'll just have to see when we clarify it. Moving to the center, and I am very cautious about this Seven of Swords that we have here on the back end because my attention keeps going to it. Position number 2, though, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So earth sign energy, you might be connected to one. So Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, it could represent a mother figure even for some of you. And remember, it's not gender specific. Now, a lot of Scorpios might just be in money mode, right? Like that's Queen of Pentacles energy. It's like, no, I'm worrying about work. I'm worrying about business. This is what I'm focused on. I got no time for other BS. Like that's a big vibe that comes with her. She represents blessings and abundance, fertility, potential. We love the Queen of Pentacles here for the most part. But the challenge of her is that she could sometimes be a little inflexible, right? She could be an energy that could be very stubborn, very grounded. So we definitely want to see the complexion of the energy because it could tell us something that's either lingering, has been lingering. It could be something that's just like, all right, well, how do I work through this energy? Because it's grounded in there. But again, for some Scorpios, this could be awesome. This could be really, really good. Depending on what clarifies it. Now, moving to the back end, the card that popped out right when I started having this little frog in my throat, we have the Seven of Swords, and we see this sneaky little individual. He has that little fez on his head, and he's making away with all these swords. So obviously, this is a card of thievery. It's sneaky. It's secrecy. In its most positive sense, this card can just represent things that we don't quite see, that we don't know. It's out of our sight. Whether it's information that we don't know, whether it's people's actions, whether it's motives. This is a card of the unexpected, the surprising, and secrecy in the positive sense. But in the challenging sense, this could represent people that we most definitely need to keep an eye on. This could represent sneaky people, underhanded people, people that don't have the best intentions for us. So we do want to take a very close look at this because whenever it shows up, I think it could be a warning of some sort. So that is a card that we are going to most definitely keep an eye on, especially with this karmic energy we have going on too. So the way the energy plays out is very intriguing to me, but we're going to tuck it in over here. I want to dive deeper on all of it, Scorpio. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for Scorpio gang. Let's see what's happening. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot because, as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on Lady Justice. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Scorpio, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Lady Justice time. What is this? What is this, please? And now, even this is Spirit saying, be cautious. Even now, this is Spirit saying, be cautious. Because we have the Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior, clarifying Lady Justice. So some of you, watch out for things that pop back up, cycles that try to repeat. That's another thing, because with the karmic energy of her and the Nine of Wands, it's like, listen, don't make the same mistakes of the past, because there could be various things returning, looping back around, and you need to be very cautious about it. But that's not the only thing I'm saying. Like, watch out for warning signs from Spirit. Spirit could be trying to give you a heads up or warn you. Now, we will see if it's this energy we were picking up here on the back end. But when I see the Nine of Wands, it's either someone being very cautious, very territorial, or rejecting things. And I saw a similar thing, I think it was the Leo reading this week, where it's like, no, I'm building a wall, I'm rejecting something. For some Scorpios, that might be the mode you want to stay in this time. It's like, listen, no new anything right now. Just like keep your wall up for the time being, because I really want to get a look at what this Seven of Swords is on the back end. I'm being very honest with you. Now, the Wounded Warrior could represent someone that's been through a lot of things. They've learned a lot of lessons. A lot of life lessons, and especially under Lady Justice, it's like, all right, well, you already know what this is. You have been through a lot. You've been through a lot of things. You understand what the situation is. So don't be surprised if situations pop up in the near future where it's like, oh, I've been through this before, or oh, I've seen this before, because that's the big vibe I'm picking up. And we'll see how the rest of the energy plays out. But yeah, it's just very cautious. Again, for a portion of you, maybe this is something that you are rejecting, right? Like whether it's a person, whether it's a behavior, whether it's a thought pattern, whether it's an addiction, there can most definitely be something that you're building the wall about. Let's just keep moving. Let's keep moving. But that is a call from the universe for you to be cautious about something. So we will see. Let's go in on the Queen of Pentacles. Thank you. Okay. All right. Watch out for anybody trying to, I don't want to sound mean. I really don't, Scorpio. But you know what? I keep it extra real in Scorpio readings. I'm sure if you watch on a regular basis, you know that. But when I see the Five of Pentacles, I mean the Five of Cups in the upright underneath the Queen of Pentacles, watch out for somebody trying to play off of your feelings and emotions. Watch out for emotional manipulation. People that are trying to spin a pity party to get a reaction out of you or something. It's just the most bizarre energy I'm picking up here. Now, I don't feel like for Scorpio, I mean, if we were to take the classical message, it's like, oh yeah, watch out for money issues, watch out for issues with work. But the intuitive message I'm getting with what we have here and what we have coming up, when I see the Queen of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, it's somebody trying to play off your emotions. It's somebody trying to play off your good nature. So I feel like you need to be very cautious about, especially new people coming in or people in general in this time. Now, listen, I know Scorpio, our energy is very skeptical in general, right? We could agree upon that, right? We're skeptical people. We always keep an eye on things, but I would be a little extra skeptical in this time, right? I'm not raising that for no good reason. When I see the Queen of Pentacles, Five of Cups, it's somebody that's trying to either pity party or just try to make you feel bad for them. It's like someone is like, oh, feel bad for me. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's see why the Seven of Swords is here. If you run into anybody like that in the short term, like if this isn't anyone you're dealing with right now and this happens in a few days or a week or two, remember this reading. Okay, if there's someone where they just lay it on thick, where they're like trauma dumping on you when you don't ask for it, that could be another thing. Let's see what the Seven of Swords has. Okay. There are different motives. There are different motives that this person might have. This person and their ways and their energy might really send you into investigation mode, Scorpio. When I see the Page of Wands in reverse underneath the Seven of Swords, it's like, I'm checking in on you. I'm watching you. I'm keeping my eye on you. I'm not saying anything about it, but I got my eye on you. So when I see this, it is most definitely Spirit saying like, all right, there is someone that you need to watch out for or beware of in this time, whether they fit the description I said or whether they don't. The Page of Wands is not speaking. And when I see it underneath the Seven of Swords, that's either one, somebody lying, two, that could be somebody where they're not telling you their true intentions. So either of those are bad in their own right. But another vibe I'm picking up here is just like keep an eye. Like, all right, well, they may not have shown their hand just yet, but keep an eye and don't say nothing about it. Not saying to play dumb, but it's like just keep your eye on this person. I don't know why that's coming through. So there is someone that you need to keep an eye on or beware of. That's just the vibe that shows up. Now, for some of you, this reading won't hit. Awesome. Beautiful. Hopefully this doesn't come up for you in the near future. You can watch your other alignments if you'd like, but this energy from front to back is funky to me, if I'm being honest, especially with what happened with my throat. And now I got the sniffles and the whole pity party thing. It's so odd. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. It's not often that I get physical symptoms while I'm doing a reading, and this is one of the very rare readings where I'm getting physical symptoms. But position number one, we have Lady Justice and the Nine of Wands in the upright. Whether Spirit's saying like, all right, Scorpio, you've seen this before. Watch out for similar situations, people that are similar to people you've dealt with in the past pop up. It's like, just be cautious about it. Watch out for the warnings from the universe. And maybe this reading is one of those warnings. That could be very possible. You could also be rejecting certain things as well. Don't be nervous about that energy. But moving to the center, I have the Queen of Pentacles with the Five of Cups in the upright. Yeah, watch out for money stress as well. I'm not saying that for every Scorpio. I know Scorpio usually has their money right. But for the most part, this to me feels like someone trying to play off your emotions, pity party, trauma dump, and all that stuff. Feel bad for me. That's the energy. Please feel bad for me. And it's different if you asked someone to share. But if this, if you're not helping this person, if you didn't ask them to share this, it feels like an emotional manipulation tactic, if I'm being honest. Moving to the back end, we have the Seven of Swords with the Page of Wands in reverse. Keep an eye on it. You don't have to say anything about it yet, but just keep a very close eye on this person or their motives or whatever it is they're doing, because this to me is deceit on the back end. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Most definitely somebody you should be aware of. Let's get into the shadow card. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They can be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out for Scorpio gang. What do we got? Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Eight of Swords, that's a card that does often show up in the shadows, and it does fit the theme. Notice elementally here, we have like decent mixture, but we have fire and air, a lot of volatility, and we have more air with the Eight of Swords showing up in the shadows. Now, this could be good, and I will tell you the rough part about it. I've seen it in a lot of earth signs, a lot of the other signs this week, very Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords type of energy floating in the ether for a lot of the collective, not just Scorpio. When I see this Eight of Swords, it can be stress, right? It can be very stress inducing. It could be overthinking and stuff like that as well. But the good part about this card is that it comes and goes quick. So whatever it is we're seeing here, whether that does arise or whether it doesn't, because energy is never locked in 100%. You could manifest this so it comes nowhere near you. You could just cut it off right here with putting the wall up. But just know that there could be something where it comes and goes quick. That's the good thing about this card, because it can be freeing, but it's stressful. Right? Like, so if somebody's making you feel stressed or they're just giving you that feeling in your stomach, just really trust your gut, trust your instincts here. So yeah, Scorpio, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The February subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out the availability and my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com, so we could get a little forecast for the next few weeks for you. But for the February subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Tarot of the Owls. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments if you could snap your fingers right now and wish for something. What would it be? It could be anything except more wishes. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.